Hey, what's up? This video is for my friends, the ones that I've been inviting to go backpacking. I want to create a guide for them so they can use it every time that they want to get ready, or in the beginning when they have some general ideas and some questions, and I'll try to respond most of them. The first one is, when I tell them you need to get a backpack, they usually think in a backpack like this, and it's fine because that's the first thought that they have. Why am I gonna need a specific backpack? So the thing with this, and this is the first thing that I want to tackle, is that if you take this small backpack, this is in a sleeping bag that you will use for camping. So as you can see, we have a problem here, the size. And let's say that you want to take a tent, and you think, oh, I'm just gonna take the tent that I use for camping. Here you have a tent for camping. So trying to fit this in this backpack, it's gonna be a problem. Now, if I tell you you need to bring a sleeping pad, here is a sleeping pad for camping. So see, it's impossible that we fit all this here. So that's the first thing that you have to take into account, the size of the bulky items. I'm gonna show you some items that I use for backpacking that are completely different. So first, this is my backpack. As you can see, it's bigger. And in this backpack, I'm gonna fit this sleeping bag. So give me a sec. Okay, so now we have this sleeping bag. If I compare this sleeping bag, this is for backpacking, with the one for camping, we can see a huge difference. So that's one of the main things. Also, my tent. This is my tent. Compared to this one for camping, you can see a huge difference. So it's more compactable. And under certain circumstances, you can take this one and put it outside of your backpack. A friend of mine did that in another trip, and it worked for him. But if you want to take something lighter, you can go with something like this. And here, my sleeping pad. If you can see, it's half of this size, so it's gonna be even more compactable. So it's this three combo, and my backpack. You can get any backpack that in the beginning looks fine. This is 70 liters, I think. And in the beginning, if you just want to get comfortable, you don't need to get an expensive backpack. You just can get one from some marketplace or Facebook or OfferUp or any other website that gives you a used one in good shape. I'm gonna remove this, and you'll see how I pack this. Also, as an alternative for this air pad, you can take one of these closed foam pads. These ones are not gonna have as much insulation as these ones. This goes by R value. So the higher the R value, the more insulation it has. So this one has an R value of like 1, and this one it's around 4.7. But you can take this and attach it outside of your backpack. This is an option. Okay, so now let's get into how we're gonna fit everything in here. I'm gonna take my tent and I'm gonna put it on the bottom like this. Now I'm gonna fit my sleeping pad in here. You want the heavy items on the bottom and closer to your back. Just my tent. So it's my tent here, my sleeping pad in here, and my sleeping bag goes inside right above my tent. So as you can see, we already packed the bulkiest items in the backpack. Now we're gonna make it a stop and go over another categories. The first category is the cooking system. So this is my cooking system. Basically 4 things: the pot, the stove, the fuel, and a fork or spoon. This is the spork. Okay, what you can do with this pot, because it's titanium, you can boil water. You can drink for it too. If your meals are mainly dry meals, well, all that you need is boil water here. You pour it on your meal, wait a couple minutes, and you have a meal. And you can, as I said, you can make coffee here. You can make oatmeal for the breakfast. And also another substitute to this, in my case, because I like to cook at home and warm it in the trails outdoors, is this pan. So I use this too. Sometimes I take this and this too, both things. And I warm my food here, and this is a bowl too, so I can cook and eat on this. And also another alternative could be this plate. You won't be able to cook on this plate, but you can have it just to it. If it's light and thin, so you should just slide it on one side of your backpack. And another alternative can be always use this, but this just to drink coffee. You don't burn your lips because it has silicone on the edge, so it's easy to drink from this. And yeah, I carry outside of my backpack. There's different kind of fuels, size of fuels. What I use is this small one, because I can take this small one, take my stove, I'm gonna do it right now, fold it, and put it right here. And I take like this. But also what I do is that with these big ones, I use this transfer and I refill the small one. So I always have a small fuel to put it inside my pot. How this works is like this. You attach the stove to the fuel. This has a self-igniter, so it's easier. You let out some fuel, and that's it. You have fire. Completely safe. You put your pot on top, and you can boil water. Or in my case, I can warm my food. Okay, now we're gonna see food. Okay, now we're gonna talk a little bit about food. My way to storage my food is with this bear vault. You can use a dry bag and you can hang it from a tree, but my personal way to do it is with a bear vault. I put everything in here and put it far from my tent, and I don't worry about being able to throw a rock and then pull the rope and hang it or find a tree. This is my way to use it. And also this is a seat that some people use. So this will be my way to storage. As I said, you can use a dry bag and just hang it from a tree. Then I like to take in a small bag to put my trash. And for some of my meals, for example, sometimes for dinner, I take one of these soups. So I put it in this pan and I store it like this. And then I use coffee, oats, grits, tea, and milk. I put all that in here. And also I'll put some of these things in here, maybe my stove and my cooking system, and bags with food that I need to warm over there. And that's how I store my food. That's all. If I have dry meals, I'll put them in here. Snacks and electrolytes, they go in my backpack. I usually put them in one of these bags, on the side pockets. Like this. And for water, I use these smart bottles like 2 or 3 times. They are really light, and 1 liter, two of 1 liter, and this is convenient because the lid you can drink like this fast. And for my water filtration system, I use the Sawyer with this bag. It's convenient for me. Some people don't like this bag because of this small lid, the small intake of water, but I like it and it's fine. This is what you need. So this is for water. I usually put the water filter on one side like this. 1 bottle in the front with this pocket like this, and the remaining one I'll put it inside like this. And this big boy goes in here on top of my sleeping pad. Sorry, on top of my sleeping bag. Like that. Okay, now we'll talk about the clothes. I usually take long sleeve, some protecting type of shirt, and some light pants, and glasses, a cap, or a hat. I usually like the hat because I have 30-60 degrees of coverage. Then for the campsite, shorts, shirt, underwear, and an extra pair of socks, a Puffy jacket, and a beanie. And that's all that I take. And since these are light items, I put them on the side and on top of my bear bowl. Sometimes I take it in a small towel. Okay, now we're gonna see some main accessories. The first one will be headlamp. This has red light and green light. This is good so you don't bother other people with the white one. Second thing is sunscreen. Then a power bank and a charging cable. Please don't forget the charging cable. You don't want to be there with just the power bank. Toothbrush and toothpaste. They're in here. This is a cable for my headlamp. Then this is my bathroom kit. So here's some paper and a trowel. This go on the brain of the backpack, so it's easy accessible. You should put the sunscreen here on top of this, so I can reach it easily. And power bank on one side, toothbrush on the brain too, but the other side, and the headlamp. Now some extra accessories. I use a Kindle to read, I put it here on the outside. Well, in the outside pocket of the brain of the backpack. Cards to play Uno. Poles. They go outside with me all the time. This is my luxury item. I use my a share. And sandals. I put them outside. I'll show you in a bit. And cash. Don't forget the cash. So what I do with this extra accessories is that I put the fabric of the share in here. I close this. On one side, I put the poles of my tent, so they don't take a lot of space inside. Like this. And on the other side, I put the poles of my shirt. Like this. I can close my backpack. Like this. And my sandals, I put them outside. Like this. My mug. Right here. Oh, here. In case you need it. And the last thing that I'm gonna show you is my first aid kit. So come closer. Okay, so this will be my first aid kit. Here I have some pills, painkillers. Then I have some for allergies, for diarrhea. Here I have some different type of band-aids. I have waterproof band-aids. Those come handy when you are crossing rivers. And some gauze. This is antibiotic cream. I also have hand sanitizer wipes. Then on this side I have some sealant. And it's waterproof, so that's good. And this is a repair tape. It's like fabric that you can use to patch in a sleeping pad. I fixed my sleeping pad a couple of times with this. And here I have blister tape and athletic tape. You can put the athletic tape over the blister tape when you feel a hot spot to prevent a blister. This is an emergency blanket, some gloves, and more gauze. And here's some electrolytes. And this is a small knife that can help me to cut these tapes. So this is basically my first aid kit. Here's the first aid kit. I put it in one of the bags outside for easy access. Here it goes, and my spork. I have it ready. You never know when a meal is gonna cross your way. Put my hand sanitizer out here, and the money. And that's all. I think that now I'm ready to go outdoors. I'm gonna get my backpack, secure it. We go. I hope that you find this video useful. Share with your friends. I'll share it with mine. And I'll see you guys out there. Happy trails. I leave in the description the list of the gear that I use in case you find it useful. And you can use the list for your future trips. I'm gonna leave some links too. Bye.